reporting on the games you love by people who love to game. The MMO Reporter Network.
You're logging into your favorite game, grinding out some gear. A couple of points added to your stats, and you have a virtual beer. Max level is pretty cool, but I'll remind you here, my friend. These games are not about the goal, it's about the journey and not the end.
You're listening to MMO Reporter, brought to you by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook download at audibletrial.com/MMO Reporter. And by Doghouse Systems. Choose your weapon with Doghouse Systems.
Don't forget about your ults you need to cherish. Each and every little character you've got, no matter what level they're at. Don't forget about your ults.
Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of MMO Reporter. This is episode 247. I'm Chris, and I'm joined, as always, by my very good friend, Mr. at MMO Bill. Hello, Bill. And the star of small stage with a single microphone on a stand with an audience typically seated at cocktail tables, Mr. Harry Hall.
And drunk, usually. At least half of the audience. Not me.
I lost like 2 hours today on YouTube of my life looking up heckler videos and seeing comedians deal with hecklers. Do you have a plan? Do you have a set series of jokes or ways to defuse the situations for hecklers yet, Harry?
No, I don't. I saw the... I'm a big fan of Louis C.K. Yeah, well, that was gas, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I saw. Did you see the Louis C.K. episode where he's dealing with a female heckler?
No.
Oh, it is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And later I saw an interview with him that was taped before he wrote this episode. And the episode is basically what in his mind would be the best, most awesome way to deal with it. You have to see that.
Nice.
It's first season episode.
I will look it up. Awesome.
It's on Netflix.
So we have got, well, maybe on your Netflix. I don't think we have Louis C.K. on our Netflix, do we, Bill?
No, but it's to be had.
It's to be had in other methods.
It's out there, and it's really good. Well, it's on the. Oh dang it! I can't remember what network that show is on.
Showtime.
Yeah,
Thank you.
One.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anyway, really good show. I've seen a few episodes of it. It's good.
Why do I know this?
I have to say, I think that Louis C.K. would probably play. Oh, I don't know what, like maybe a shaman in WoW.
I think I wouldn't even say WoW. I was thinking he strikes me as a Hearthstone player.
Yeah.
Yeah. What deck would he play though?
Oh.
All right, I'm already bored. Let's move on.
Yeah.
Bill, what have you been doing in game?
My list is very similar to last week. I've been trucking away at Rocket League. I'm getting so tired of the AI. I feel like I've progressed past what the AI can do for me in Rocket League, unless I'm playing one-on-one. And
have you heard that they have a part of the game where you can play against other people? I
feel like I'm just about there. Like I'm mentally preparing myself. See, I can't be. If I go in and I lose a match here or there, then I have no chance to be the perfect player that takes the entire online gaming world by storm and becoming a multimillionaire by the time I'm 40.
You know what? You're not wearing your power gloves, so it would never happen.
All right.
It's
okay.
so bad.
New dream.
You get the reference, don't you? Yeah, you do.
One of the worst movies I've ever seen, by the way.
Horrible movie.
But it had a power glove in it, so it's okay.
Exactly. So it was cool.
Yeah.
Especially at the age, I was like right around that age where that was the coolest thing I think I've ever seen.
Oh, I saw it later, so that didn't work for me.
Oh, okay.
Speaking of being right around that age, I also have been playing King's Quest with my family, and they're just hooked and addicted. My son is coming up to me every single day. Can we play King's Quest? Can we play King's Quest? And I have to say no to him a lot because the family's running around doing different events and choir and taekwondo and all that kind of stuff. We haven't had a single evening this week where we've all actually been around. So we have a date tomorrow night to carry on with our King's quest.
Nice.
So-
Nice.
So that's super fun. I'm loving that. Guild Wars 2, the standard in there. Well, I'll let Chris tell his stories, but I mentored Chris a little bit through the Silver Waste, so that was a lot of fun. I've also been doing a bunch of legendary weapon stuff, which is,
Really?
you know what? I was going to say it's less fun, but it's actually not. I've decided I'm not going to turn this into a farming battle. I'm actually going to play the game to get the stuff that I need for my legendary weapon. It's slower, but I'm not burning out on it. So I stand by my choices. I'm happy
I was
with
wondering about that because if there is one thing that could be defined as a grind in Guild Wars 2, it's the legendary weapon set.
You know, the first bit, because what they added with Heart of Thorns was the ability, like it used to be the big piece or the difficult piece for your legendary weapon to get was that kind of precursor. It was kind of like the core weapon that you built up into your legendary piece that had all the magic effects and everything like that. That was a completely random thing that you just had to cross your fingers and hope for. They actually give you mechanics that you could work through now to do that. So it's different facets where you can do like the first phase is a whole bunch of achievements that you have to get in game, like, or not quite achievements, but basically the same thing. Like you have to do a certain emote in a certain part of the world after a certain event. You have to run some certain fractals, So
Okay.
it's a ton of work. Like you're going to be putting dozens to hundreds of hours into completing all this stuff, but at least there's an end. You can actually see I've made X amount of progress. I'm 4% closer to this one reward now. So I'm in the phase right now where I'm not doing achievements or anything, where I actually have to craft a ton of things. And when I say a ton, I mean literally a ton. I need like some 4-digit number of mithril to make hundreds of swords to fulfill an order for something. So anyway, this is the grindy part of it now, but all things considered, it's still worthwhile doing. I think as long as you don't get bogged down in the grind, it's good.
It sounds a little bit. Sorry,
Oh,
go ahead.
Oh, okay. I just unlocked that at the end of our play session on Monday night, I think it was. I unlocked that mastery and then that collection to start on that path. So it's that part of it was simple. Dead easy.
Yeah. Well, and it's a nice path. Again, it's one of those things where it's nice to be able to pick up or just to have a path to go down, because Guild Wars 2, it's really easy to burn out on one piece of the game or another. This always gives you something to kind of turn back to and say, oh, geez, what do I want to do today? I can do this. And it's just laying out a nice map for you. It's good.
But it sounds a little bit like the way I've heard it described, the holocron grinding in Star Wars Galaxies, how you became a Jedi, that you had to do all these different completely unrelated tasks a number of times to hit certain boxes to get to the point. It sounds a bit like that, but a little bit more information is thrown in your way, so you know what you're actually doing. It sounds very interesting.
It's not a mystery. You don't have to figure it out, or it's not a puzzle. It's just playing a lot of different pieces of the game.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a very clear do this, then do this, then do this. So it's very, very straightforward, not like the Jedi, like you said. But
and it's a little bit of everything. There's PvP components. There's different. You have to go into a ton of different maps. There's fractals. It's touching on every piece of the game. Like this is not a casual achievement or anything like that. You're only going to get your legendary if you've experienced everything in Guild Wars 2.
That sounds actually pretty fun.
It is.
Yeah.
It's an investment though. Like you prepare your mind and body for a long-term investment. This isn't an afternoon of checking things out.
And I've decided to unlock the collections because I started with the shield because I hate Juggernaut, the hammer, the two-handed hammer. It just doesn't work for me. So I unlocked for the shield, and then I'm going to unlock for the sword for Zap, and then I'm going to get the staff, Nevermore, and then I'm going to get all three, and it'll be great. Getting all three will be a great culmination and a great way to celebrate my 90th birthday. Because that's how long it's going to take. Anyways, moving on. Did you do anything else, Bill?
Yeah, I actually hopped in. I fulfilled my promise, and I installed and played Blade and Soul for a little while. I went through the beginning of the game and the prologue and everything like that. And playing the game was not bad. Like it's a little bit fun to move around. The combat seems it's actiony. It's a little bit different than your standard 1-2-3 combo and everything like that. So it wasn't bad. It's gets back to the issue I had with Blade and Soul. It's the thing that made me prejudiced against it from the very beginning. It's basically a TNA factor of it. I had my kids in the room while I was playing. They weren't actually watching over my shoulder or anything like that, but just having them in the room was uncomfortable. There was a little bit of violence as part of the prologue, and that I didn't like, but that happens in video games. That's not the end of the world, but it's the gratuitous outfits and the oddball physics that go along with certain body parts and that kind of thing. I was uncomfortable having the game up while they were in the room, and I can't play it during the day now. Like, because that's the layout of my house and everything. This has to be a post bedtime game now. And I honestly can't really see it getting into my rotation too much because that only gives me a couple hours a day to play it, and I can't see carving out a lot of time for it.
Totally understand.
So anyway, so that was about it for me. How about you, Harry? What kind of excitement did you partake in?
Well, a couple of things. First, my New Year's resolution was to finish some of the games that I still had on my pile, and one of them was Diablo 3 Reaper of Souls. And I finished the story, and I have come to the conclusion, and also played some of the new expansion bits with the adventures and the rifts they've included, and I don't like Diablo 3 at all.
Oh, really? I liked Reaper of Souls.
I have discovered that I don't know what happened. I started playing on normal, and most of the game I played on normal, and I fell asleep playing it. A friend of mine kept saying, well, you just have to bump it up to the next difficulty level.
Right.
Nothing changed. I don't know what happened. I playing it's the magician, the sorcerer class, and you have this beam of death that uses your mana. And my gear is such that my health regenerates at every moment I hit something. At any moment I stand somewhere, I just regenerate health. And my mana regenerates almost as fast as the beam of death depletes it. That means I only need to use one attack and everything dies. And I thought, okay. So I bumped it up to another level. I thought, now things will get real. The only difference is that it now takes a little bit longer for things to die, but I can still use the same tactic. There are some events where you have a couple of elite mobs at the same time. I had a tiny bit of worry that, oh God, I'm down to 1/3 of my health. Oh, I'm back to full again. It is not fun. I do not have to worry.
Did you bump it up again?
Yeah, well, I've now reached, and this is the point that Stockholm Syndrome kicked in. Because now I was at the third level of difficulty. It's expert, I think. Yeah. And you can't go higher than that.
Oh, until you finish the story, yeah.
No, I finished the story, then you can go to expert, because you can't go to expert if you haven't finished the story.
Okay, yeah.
So that was fun. So I'm not playing on expert, and I did some bounties, so you do some of the boss fights, like the Butcher. Mm-hmm. The Butcher, it was just... It took a little longer, but it's like, yeah. Okay, but so I finally I realized, looking at the boards, that you have to reach level 60 before you can actually go to the master level of difficulty.
Okay.
And I seriously said in chat to friends of mine, "Oh, I'm level 53. I can do that. I can reach level 60." Maybe it will be fun then. And then a friend of mine said, Are you out of your mind? You're not enjoying what you're doing? So you're saying you're going to do another 7 levels of this game? So I'm not going to do that. It's actually insane. On paper, I love Diablo. In practice, it's the most boring thing I've done ever. It feels like such a waste of time.
Welcome to Elite Dangerous for me.
Okay, now if you then you're just not understanding what this game is all about because
Yeah, you need to. What you need to do, Chris, is you need to do a whole bunch of elite sales runs so that you can earn a
No.
few million credits and buy the better
No.
ship, and then you'll have fun.
So what you're saying
No.
is when I'm not enjoying the game, I need to play more of the game until I get to the point where I'm enjoying the game.
No, the opposite. In fact, is what you do with the lead. Okay, there is a possibility that this is not your game. I completely understand that some people do not like the freedom of an open universe space sim. I'm not being sarcastic here. But the mistake with Elite Dangerous is thinking it is a grind that you have to reach something to do something fun. You just pick what you want to do and you do it. If you want to do bounty hunting, you start doing it. If you want to do mining, you start doing it and go into therapy. You can just do whatever there is no gating whatsoever.
No.
And that's the thing. So what you need to do is find your niche. You just find something in this system in one of these systems that you like to do. If none of those things are your cup of tea, then this is not the game for you. But if there's one game where you do not have to invest time to get something to do to be fun, it's Elite Dangerous.
Okay, but here's the thing. I enjoy it more and I'm having more fun on the Xbox One with my controller than I am at my computer with my ultra widescreen monitor, blah, 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 and the throttle and stick and all that stuff. All of that stuff is fantastic, but I'm enjoying it more on my couch with my controller and running stuff for my faction. I'm doing faction runs and helping support, and I'm making a difference in the universe and doing that sort of stuff. I'm enjoying that more, and I'm trying to put to words what it is about that experience that's just more fun for me, and I'm still struggling to do that.
But then that's the game for you. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. No, not at all. I still don't love it. But here's the thing. I know that the problem is not the game. I know that that's not it. The game is well built. It's balanced well. The systems all work well together. Everything in the game, there's nothing broken about the game. There's nothing that is poorly designed about, well, there's some aspects, some little bits that could be tweaked, quality of life stuff. But there's nothing about the game that I look at and say, oh, this is junk. I can't go back to it.
But anyway,
sorry, I totally grabbed your segment here.
Doesn't matter, but I enjoy Elite Dangerous a whole lot. I had a exploration run, and I'm kind of burnt out on that now, for the moment. So I'm flying back into the habited. The civilization bubble, where humanity. I'm heading back there just to see.
Did you find your little thingies?
My little thingies.
The
I don't know what you've heard, sir, but my thingy is not little.
Life on planets. That you were looking for.
Oh, the barnacles.
The barnacles. Thank you.
Yeah. I did actually. Oh, last time I was sick and I said I hadn't. I've actually found them. Yeah, I did find them.
Did you shoot them?
Accidentally.
You did shoot them. See?
The fun thing about this was I was looking for I used a map from the person who found them, and I usually play in solo play because I don't like to be ambushed. Mm-hmm. Stop laughing at me. I'm dead serious here.
You are the worst of humanity.
No, I'm not. I'm definitely not, because I was trying to scan them.
He was doing it ironically.
Yeah. Haha, see? Haha.
I didn't even make a scratch on it. I land there and I was in open play for once. And the reason I was in open play was because I thought if I'm in open play, I'll probably see some other ships hovering around that barnacle and it will make it easier to find. Apparently nobody was there, so I had to look for it anyway. It took me about a half hour. Found it. And I was there, and then another ship comes in. I thought, where the hell were you when I needed you? And this other ship is hovering there. This is like an Asp Explorer, which is a bigger ship than mine. And I was in my rover, my SRV. That means that I'm very, very vulnerable. And I'm just opening chat, like I'm hailing frequencies open, like, "Hi, Commander, and isn't this a wonderful sight?" No response. And he's just hovering and looking at me. And I thought, I'm so dead. I wasn't. He just touched down, drove out, started running around. And when he left, I thought, I have these scanners that somebody mentioned, so let's try them. And I bound them to one of my keys, and apparently that was the fire button. So then I actually did fire on the barnacles. Okay, so if we have an interstellar war, I'm to blame.
It is totally your fault.
Yeah, I take full responsibility for that. I'm the ender of.
Harry shot first.
Yeah. Anyway, Star Citizen. I played a little bit of that, and I'm increasingly annoyed with this game and its community.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because
that's a big statement right there.
I dared to complain on Reddit about the low frame rate. I'm talking about a game that has a cityscape. I finally managed to get into the game, and I downloaded a configuration file from one of the fan sites that is optimized for low performance. All kinds of settings that you can't touch in the game, but to make it more palatable for a system that isn't that powerful.
Hey, can I guess what the community said when you complained on Reddit?
Get a new PC.
Can I guess? It's an alpha, noob. Come on.
Oh, God, yes.
They're still developing it. What are you complaining about?
But I'm complaining. Yes, exactly.
Did I get it right?
Yes. 10 points. The big problem I have is you getting into the cityscape, one of the plans, and it looks nice. I will say it looks nice, but it doesn't look Grand Theft Auto nice. It just looks okay. It has some nice lighting effects. But I mentioned on the Reddit that I've seen many, many games that look a lot better than Star Citizen and have many more effects present and run at a solid 30 frames per second. This game runs at 5 frames per second. 5. I've had moments that it ran at 1 frame.
Ooh.
I checked. I used Fraps. It doesn't run well. And the thing that really pisses me off is there are several people, and this is like I'm entering a cult. Yeah, Chris Roberts has stated this game will push the limits of PC technology. And if you're not used to that, you just have to get another game. This isn't pushing any limits. This is badly optimized. There is a cityscape where you're walking through, and I've done this in other games, and they've done it better 5 years ago on the PlayStation and Xbox. You're not telling me this is pushing any technological limits. This is just a badly optimized engine, and I doubt that this will ever run well.
I think as you get closer to development, I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt, and 100% because of my poor experiences in the Elite Dangerous Xbox beta. 100%.
Yeah, but you're still not seeing the difference between if they have to optimize for a console, they're just optimizing for one box with very set parameters. For PC, we're talking about a whole different range of hardware that they have to optimize for, and this engine is fundamentally flawed. Anyway,
I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt with that.
I don't. They have to put up or shut up. I want to see something that works, and then I might be friendly again. Anyway, so the final thing, I don't want to leave you all with a sour taste in your mouth. There's this game that you need to download now. It's on Android and on iPhone, and it's called Twofold. And Twofold is the new Threes. It's not a free game. It is a puzzle game, and it is very well done. It is a very simple concept, as these games usually are. You have colors. You have a grid with colored squares, and you have to make change of those colors.
Whoa! It's not free.
No, I said it wasn't free. It is not free.
You said it was free.
No, it's not free.
$6? Whoa! Holy cow!
Well, Canadian.
$6.
Yeah, $5.49.
Oh, you're paying the Apple Premium. It's only $5 on Android.
Actually, it is a lot of fun. I thought it was €4, so it's not that much. We're talking. How much do you spend on subscription fees for games alone? Come on, $6 is nothing. This is a fun game. You make change of colored blocks. You can only make a chain if you can draw a single line to touch them all. If you can't, then you can't make a chain, and you have to move the squares around. And you have some squares on the bottom that you earn that you can use to form change if you run out of space.
So
And
like Candy Crush.
it's not like Candy Crush. It is its own thing. It's very much like Threes in the sense that you have to, in this case, you have to fulfill orders. You have a list of requests that you have to fill. For example, you have to score 8 points on red, 8 on yellow, and 4 on white. And the more boxes you hit in a chain, if you hit 2, it's 4 points. If you have 3, it's 16 points. If you have 4, it's 32, 64, 128. You know, it grows in factors of 2. And that way you have to fill requests and not run out of space to do so. And it is a really addictive, fun little puzzle game. And it's a very high recommendation. 2 thumbs up from me.
That's like my wife likes this Frozen game that's like a Candy Crush clone.
It's not like Candy Crush. Please stop saying Candy Crush. I hate
totally.
Candy Crush.
Yeah, totally. I totally get what you're talking about.
It's not Candy Crush.
No, it's called Frozen Freefall.
Anyway, so that was my week in gaming.
Yeah, cool. Sorry, I'm just showing everybody a version of your game here on the live stream. Anyways, moving along, before Harry notices, I have been playing Blade and Soul. So that's going along nice. I'm very near the max level, which is 45. I
That
believe.
is nothing like the game.
Blade and Soul is plenty like the game. Blade and Soul is great.
No, it's not, Chris.
I'm really enjoying it. The Summoner is a fun class to play. I'm starting to get to the point now where it's bringing in all the worst elements of the old games. It didn't hit me until near level 30, but there's parts where you have to wait for... This is like EQ bad. Have to wait for spawns. I'm at a point now where I have to level up more, doing other stuff to move the main story along, so I haven't leveled up enough there. I've got to go grind some dungeons a little bit. I've finished almost all the quests, but there's sometimes in the world where you either need specific items from mobs, so everybody's killing those mobs, and so you're waiting for spawns, or there's specific boss monsters you have to wait for. That's a little bit frustrating. Up until now, I hadn't hit any of that. So I can't imagine what it's like, because I'm still ahead of the sort of the masses of the leveling curve. There's plenty of people that are at max level already, but I'm ahead of sort of the critical mass of free-to-play players. And I can't imagine what it's like in those lower level zones going through having to wait for that. But I'm still drawn in by the combat. Combat is still hella fun. The dungeons are good. Really enjoyed having run a couple of the dungeons there. The progression system is really tuned nicely. The time to reward ratio is great. And there's just a few little aspects of the game that just make it quite pleasant. So I still think that people should try it. It's free. And have you been in, like, you've been in recently, Bill? Is the queue still an issue?
I was able to get in on a Saturday afternoon, so it seems to have normalized. I didn't get queued at all. That's
good. So that's been taking up most of my time. Like I talked about, I have played Elite Dangerous. I've got the X55 from SciTech, from the folks over at Mad Cats. It is a beautiful throttle and stick. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. I absolutely love it. My only complaint about it is that it's not quite heavy enough on its own to sit nicely on my desk. It does feel the need to be mounted. Not like I can't do anything with it, but if I'm at all kind of aggressive with the stick or the throttle, it'll move maybe a centimeter or so. So nothing horrible, but still a little bit. if that makes sense. Guild Wars 2, Silver Wastes, Zone Events. Oh my gosh, Bill, you are fantastic. Thank you for taking me around Silver Wastes and doing that Zone Event. It was a blast. Then spent 45 minutes on my inventory. Because
it was a successful run in the Silver Wastes. You can't complain about success.
No, but it was my own poor inventory management up to that point that led to me being stuck in that position. But I also opened bags along the way, which was dumb. I should have just left them all to the end. But really had a great time doing that. Guild Wars 2 talked about Battlefront. Still playing Star Wars Battlefront. We've got to play together, Harry. We really do, because I'm really enjoying that. And probably the second biggest time sink. Last weekend, I spent a Sunday afternoon space trucking around on the Xbox, and then I moved over to Neverwinter, getting ready for Underdark, which is launching next Tuesday, the 9th. It's the last expansion that came out on PC, is now coming out on Xbox, and this is part of the sort of big push to Underdark that the pen and paper campaign is going through. Video games, I mean, Sword Coast Legends was all based around Underdark, had that, and now Neverwinter as well. So they're kind of synergizing all the different products of D&D into the same storylines. So that's coming along quite nicely, and we'll talk a little bit more about Neverwinter later. And hey, for those of you watching, I also got an email today. We'll probably be doing a giveaway for Neverwinter on Xbox, if anybody's interested in codes for companions for that. So that's what's been keeping me busy there. Quick shout out to our wonderful patrons. 32 of you. You are wonderful, fantastic people. We are about just under 2/3 of the way to our next goal, which is a patron-only podcast. And also wanted to mention the Slack channel that we have. We have this sort of chat system called Slack. You can look it up and see what it's like, which we have invited our patrons to. We're going to keep it to patrons only right now, simply for the fact that it's kind of labor intensive for me. I have to manually add every single person into it. There's no way to automate that process. So because of the labor involved in that, I am going to keep it to patrons only right now. But if you do want to chat with us, and we have fairly regular conversations with our listeners in there, you can go check us out at patreon.com/MMO Reporter. All right, let's move things along to the news.
I already know. What would you do if you dared boot threat from me? More than words to show you get that you need to.
You are very nicely in tune there, sir. I have to say,
It was damn high note.
it was very easy to EQ you through that section. You did very well, sir.
I'm not. No, I don't know if you're not sure. If serious.
No, there was. I had to do way more work on my own vocal track on that than I had to do on yours.
Anyway, okay.
Yeah.
Very,
all right, you've got some news to talk about. Surprisingly, you're going to talk about Hello Kitty Online.
Yes, I am. Hello Kitty Online in space with ships and stars, and as I call it, Elite Dangerous Horizons.
Oh, okay.
It's just a little pet nickname I give it. So there is a expansion in progress called Horizons, and the first bit of it we already play, which is the landing on planets bit, and now they are ramping up for the next iteration, because it's a season of expansions after all. And the next thing, it's called Engineers, and they're adding a lot of personality to the mission system, and this is something I'm looking forward to, and it will make the game a whole lot more alive, for lack of a better word. It's the first thing they're going to do is they're going to revamp the mission system bulletin board. Usually now, if you're flying into Elite Dangerous, you go into a station, there's a bulletin board, and you have a list of missions. Some of them you can get, and some of them you can't. And the ones you can, it just says like you need to have trading rank, this and this, or you have to be competent as a fighter. And it's all very abstract. And missions are randomly generated, and basically it's luck of the draw if it's fun or if it's doable or whatever. So now they're going to change that, and they're going to create mission givers. So these will be NPC characters that have faces with the new. They're going to add a character generation system, because along the line of this expansion, you'll be able to be in a crew with several players in the same ship, which is an awesome idea. Wondering how it will pan out. But that system of creating faces for players will also be used to create faces for the NPCs. NPCs will be the spokespersons for the little factions in the game. So every system is ruled by a huge overarching power. You have the Empire, the Federation, and the Alliance. And within that, there are all kinds of little political struggles going on, which makes the universe, in theory, feel very much alive, because you have different factions vying for control over stations, over systems, and what have you.
Right.
And this will, and there's different states for so a system can go into civil war, for example, if factions are struggling, or they will go into a boom if everything is lined up and everybody's happy. And these little things are called the background simulation, and now that will get literally a face with people that you talk to that will give you missions and respond to you based on not only your rank within the faction, but also your rank as a fighter or a. So, for example, if you're a high level fighter and you're talking to a low level grunt in a faction that you have a high standing with, they will grovel to you. But if they don't like you, they will actually let you know that and will make it difficult for you to progress. All this is procedurally generated, so we'll just have to we'll have to see how well it works. But the idea is fantastic. So you will get more of a sense that who those factions are, and it will generate kind of a personality, and will make it more personable. Another thing is they will, and this is why it's called the engineers. They're going to add special NPCs called engineers, and they will allow you to craft upgrades and things for your ship that are highly customizable. So right now you have to go to stations to find modules for your ship, and everybody will, if you have an A-ranked frameshift drive, everybody will have the same thing. Now they're going to add a crafting system which will make loot more, for lack of a better description, Diablo-like, that there are more different ways of customizing things and additions to your ship. And that also will hopefully add some new life to the progression system. In other news, they've responded, and all this is a response to complaints and criticism from the community. So Frontier is really listening to their players. This is something we've all been asking for. Another thing people have been asking for is, why do you have to buy Elite Dangerous all over again if you want to play Horizons? Because before, when this podcast goes up, it's already changed. But it used to be you had Elite Dangerous, which was a full price game, and you had Elite Dangerous Horizons, which was the same price, full price. So if you already owned Dangerous, you had to buy the game again, quote unquote. Now they're going to change Horizons to calling it DLC, and will be an add-on pack as a more traditional expansion. So you have to buy Elite Dangerous, and if you want to play Horizons, you buy an extra part of that. They're going to delete a couple of the bonuses that you got from the Horizons if you got the full package that most of us have now. For example, access to the Cobra Mark IV is gone from the new DLC package. You have to do that in a microtransaction later on.
Okay, but isn't this what they should have done in the first place? So in a way, couldn't you look at this as, if you bought it twice, you kind of got screwed?
Well, they add loyalty discounts, and I personally, I think screwed is very internet to say that. People have no problem whatsoever to buy Madden every year with no discernible upgrades other than the roster of players. Full price every year. And nobody complains about that. And now you're going to get this and you're going to be a dick about it. Sorry, it's they need to make their money, and it's reasonable. The amount of content you get, it's not Star Citizen. You get a full game. It is actually working. It has a lot of things to do, and the season is really promising to be amazing. So
yeah, I don't know. I think your emotion, your affection for the game.
I'm a fanboy. Yeah, you can say it.
Is clouding your judgment just a little bit here. I do think this is the way that they should have done it in the first place.
This is better. Yes, this is better. I agree, but I don't think.
Yeah.
I don't think. It might have been a mistake, and this is a better way to do it. But I don't think that the way they did it was so terrible as to call it screwing you over. I think this is more friendly, and this makes it easier and more palatable, and it's it feels better. But it's not really better. It's the same thing. It's just
It's not. So, in other words, the fact that you had to pay full price again, but now people don't have to pay full price to get what we got for, I guess it's twice the price?
Well, no, with the loyalty discount, you
So
paid
could
basically the
I
same.
have split the original Horizon or the original Elite off from buying Elite Horizons again and give that to a friend?
The thing is,
Why not? I bought it twice.
No, you didn't.
Why not? I paid for the full game. Right?
Oh God, this is the Star Citizen Reddit discussion all over again.
No, but there is something to be said for that point of view, and there's some validity to it.
No, but if you, let's say you pay £25, if you pay £40 for the game, I'm in pounds now. That doesn't matter. Let's call it shekels. 40 shekels for the game, and with loyalty discount you pay 25, and that was the same. And now the DLC will be, I think, a little bit less than than the game was with the loyalty discount, and that's because you get less with the DLC than you got before. So you didn't pay much more than that. You paid less. You didn't pay the full price anyway.
My anger is slightly abated. I will allow you to continue.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Can you keep that? I like that.
This was okay. I will. Yeah, not. Little, and I'd like to close this section of Elite Dangerous Horizons fanboyism with two tweets I saw come out from Mr. Anthony Hunt at AC Hunt. And he had a little encounter where he saw the local system. He saw the remains of a big ship, and on local chat he saw some chatter from NPC System Defense Force captains, and the System Defense Force is the local police. So this is NPC scripted conversation. This is not players doing things. This is from Frontier themselves. And I like to read this. System Defense Force captain says.
Yeah, I can. Would you like me to read it?
Yes, do that because I can't find it. Yeah.
Keep your eyes peeled. Something big took out this ship, and I want us to be ready in case it comes back.
And followed by.
You don't think this is, with all the rumors flying around?
Thank you for that dramatic reading. So. Basically, the storyline is wrapping up to an alien encounter, and I've seen Reddit threads where they found huge wreckage from an actual Federation capital ship that was blown up or something, and these things are supposedly unkillable. So they're really ramping up the story for some big incursion from some big-ass threatening vessels. We have no idea what they are. They are Targoids. And
I heard it's ET.
E.T. kick ass, yeah. So
yeah, no, because they were in Star Wars, right? ET was in Star Wars. They were in the Galactic Senate. You saw ET in Star Wars, didn't you?
In the fan movies, yeah, not in the real Star Wars.
No, in the real Star Wars.
No.
Yeah, they were totally. Yeah, in the Galactic Senate, there was one little pod with ET in it.
There's no there is no actual Star Wars film with the Galactic Senate in them.
I was going to say, did they have Gandalf as an advisor standing behind them?
All right.
There are 4 Star Wars films. 4. One came out recently, and 3 started. There were 3 in the 70s and 80s. 4 Star Wars movies. Mm-hmm. Let's continue with Black Desert Online. Chris, go on.
Yes, we're going to talk a little bit about Black Desert. We've mentioned it a bunch in the past, but we haven't really gotten into it at all. This is a high fantasy game with an incredibly beautiful graphics engine. I think this is unfortunately been what has kind of stuck as the thing about Black Desert Online is the beauty of its graphics engine, and not much has been talked about the actual gameplay itself. But the other thing it has is probably one of the most detailed character creators I have ever had the pleasure of playing with. I'm showing the video right now for our live viewers, and I have a link in the show notes if you want to take a look at it at home. But it's an absolutely beautiful game, but my first thoughts on it are that it's quite generic. I'm going to hold back a little bit on sort of what I think about the game itself until I've had a chance to play. The second closed beta, is opening up on February 28th. We'll have a link in the show notes to the site where you can sign up for that beta, or you can pre-order. They have pre-order packages, gentlemen. And I know, Harry, you are always such a fan of pre-order stuff that I thought you'd want me to go into absolute detail about this, because it is so important to you that everyone goes out and buys games before they've ever had the chance to play them, right?
You know, you could just go and waterboard me and make it less painful for me.
Okay, we're going to go over the three pre-order packages they've got. The Traveler's package, $30, you get some stuff. The Explorer's package is $50, you get more stuff. The Conqueror's package is $100, and you get even more stuff.
I'm getting echoes of George Carlin here.
It's just stuff. Like, looking at it, and I don't know if it's just the way the game
Bill
is
got the reference.
It's ooh, okay, you got housing stuff. Okay, yeah, great, awesome. You get a horse, you get a mount. I'm done. I'm getting it then.
But you're getting $100 worth of stuff.
No, not really. You get
because you pay $100 and you get stuff, so that must be worth $100.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah, I'm not
Where's
overly
my wallet?
impressed with the what you get in the game. Maybe it's just because I don't know the game well enough. I would love to hear from some of our listeners about their thoughts on the pre-order packages. Really, the biggest things right now that I see, kind of the head starts. You get 48 hours with the Travelers and Explorers and 96 with the Conquerors. And I don't know if my impression of a head start has changed with my experience with Blade and Soul, where, man, I liked that game so much more before the Unwashed Masses came in after the head start was over.
See, I feel like the Head Start notion has morphed over time, that a Head Start doesn't have value to me anymore, because to me, when I think of a Head Start, especially for a new game that I've never heard of before, that doesn't have history behind it or anything like that, the Head Start to me is them working out the server kinks and everything like that while I sit in a queue and wait to see if I'm going to get in or not. This is getting in early is not good. You know what I want to buy? I want to buy a package that gets me in like 2 weeks after the game has been released. Oh, wait.
You don't have to pay money for that.
Yeah.
I've got the technology for that package. So, no, I don't know. There's some games where a head start, yes, would be exciting. There's nothing about Black Desert Online that inspires me to want to be there early.
But you are so right. You don't want to play any online game on day one, and you don't want to play it on day -3 either.
Yeah,
you just don't. You want to wait.
I didn't have any server issues in the head start. Those didn't start until the people started to come in.
To be fair, when Guild Wars 3 happens, I will want to head start on that. Because I feel like they've earned the notion that, yes, they can actually release a product with minimal hiccups and problems at the beginning, and I'm going to want my grubby little hands all over that as quickly as I can. So there are some few exceptional exceptions, if you will, to that rule, but it's still a rule to me.
So you're saying that the argument that you just made a minute is moot the minute you're slightly interested in the game?
I believe you're taking what I said and turning it into something I didn't say.
But was technically correct.
Well, if you are interested, they do have a closed beta. You can, of course, sign up for the closed beta, or if you want to guarantee access, you can do what Harry Hall always suggests, and that is to pre-order. That was untrue.
That was very untrue, yeah.
Untrue.
But I'm looking at the list, by the way, of all the stuff, and I must say, a pet of choice in a tier 5 horse, I'm here. $100, people.
You could get a bird, and you can name it.
You get a permanent horse whistle,
There you go.
which is a lot better than all those temporary horse whistles.
Yeah,
That's correct. Yeah.
because there's nothing worse than running out of horse whistles.
I've had situations where I ran out of horse whistles, and believe me, that's not something you want.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about our sponsors real quick. Audible, go to audiblepodcast.com/MMO Reporter. A reminder of last week's discussion on the audiobooks for Elite Dangerous, which we've talked about today. I do believe there are the Guild Wars 2 books are on there, aren't they?
I would assume
I
so,
thought
yeah.
that the Guild Wars 2 books are on there. But there's a whole bunch of gaming content on there if you are so interested, so go check that out. And of course, our friends over at Doghouse Systems, use the coupon code MMO Reporter, and you will add a free 120 gig solid state drive, just like one of our listeners over on Lotro Reporter did this week. And he's now getting 250 frames a second in Lotro. Woohoo! You can get yourself a free 120 gig SSD added to whatever computer you purchase just by using the coupon code MMO Reporter when you go to doghousesystems.com. Shaking hand with the Nazgul's rough. Killing trolls, they're not so tough. Turtle raids kill all, radiants or not. Horses run you into a fence, ready or not. Dumb ways to die. So many dumb ways to die. Dumb ways to die. So many dumb ways to die.
So Wildstar. Let's talk about Wildstar for a second. Wildstar is still a thing, and that's the story. Okay, Chris, what else you got? Oh, no. We had a little bit of Wildstar news happening this week. It's first off, they're actually landing on Steam. They made the announcement, apparently, that they're going to be on Steam in the first half of 2016, which you can't really complain about. It's, good. It's going to be on Steam. There you go. So the bigger news, though, is that they're going to be coming up with their spring update. So I find it curious that they're naming performing a spring update right after Guild Wars 2, also an NCSoft adjacent thing, is having seasonal updates. I'm almost wondering if this is something that's come down from on high. That if you're an MMO for NCSoft, you better have seasonal updates. Anyway. Wild baseless speculation.
Isn't it also kind of a MMO tradition to have things for every season? You need to have an event for something, for Christmas and for Valentine's Day and for Groundhog Day, what have you.
Yeah, but this is an actual update. Like, this is actual content approaching, I won't say expansion, but it's certainly a content update. So there's a bunch of new stuff coming into Wildstar. They're adding a new zone, Arcterra, which is the icy wasteland, of course, named Arcterra, because what else would you name it? Right. They're adding some new mechanics to the way zone boss fights are going to work. They're adding it's kind of a progressive system where events will begin with kind of weak bosses that could be handled with the pair characters, that after they get defeated, the zone graduates to having a 5-man boss that people need to coalesce and defeat, after which point a 20-man raid type boss has to spawn in the zone, is being attacked by everybody in the zone. So it smells very similar to Guild Wars 2 and kind of their meta events and meta zone events and that kind of thing. But that's not a bad thing, because obviously I'm into that kind of thing. So
yeah, on a much smaller scale, but yes, totally, that sort of progressive content. Yeah,
so that's an interesting add there, a little bit of an open world love for Wildstar. They're making changes to the kind of an item upgrade system, and I read this probably 5 times and I still didn't get it. Actually, you know what, Chris, I'm going to throw to you. Can you explain what the difference between item upgrades and tiering up salvage items and the other pieces to this actually are? So
this is something new. You could always salvage stuff, but and you would add your runes to stuff, but this is a much newer system from when I was playing a lot, so I haven't had any experience with it.
Okay.
But it seems to me that they're just expanding upon their. I know they've reworked the rune system. They've been talking about that for a while, and we mentioned it weeks ago now. But this seems like they're sort of reworking their salvage system into something a little bit more useful.
It strikes me as it's basically putting methods into the game to take the junk gear that you pick up as you go along. I did air quotes around junk for all the people who were listening for them. And you're going to be able to turn them into some kind of boost, like getting up to additional 5 item levels onto your equipment by going through this upgrade / salvage process. So
Right. Which sounds a lot like the Blade and Soul system, actually, where you get these special types of weapons and gear. There's only like 6 gear slots total, including your weapon. And when you get one that's a Hong Moon, which is the name of your martial arts school that you start out with, it's a revenge story, blah, blah, blah. But when you get your Hong Moon ring, for example, you then sacrifice other gear to upgrade that one, and you keep upgrading that one and that one and that one, and that's your only gear ever. Every other gear in the world you're sacrificing to make the one that the Hong Moon one better. So it sounds very similar to that. You'll find some really, really great stuff, and you can boost it up a bunch.
cool.
Which is kind of cool.
So yeah,
But that's spitballing here. I don't have any experience with it.
yeah. So yeah, baseless reporter or baseless
Wild baseless
reporter. I think that's what we should change the name to.
What we specialize. It is our speciality, as Obi-Wan is wont to say. Okay, so that's
What?
Wildstar. Sith are a speciality. That's how he says specialty. Have you never heard that bit? Have you never watched that movie, Harry?
Which one is that? One of the fan films?
Yes, one of the fan films.
I don't care about them. I'm not going to quote them.
You're just, it's ridiculous. It's
Yes,
ridiculous.
yes, the movies
on.
are ridiculous.
No, ready?
Yeah,
Here we
no,
go.
You're no match for him. He's a Sith Lord.
Chancellor Palpatine, Sith Lords are our speciality.
There you go. Speciality. Done.
It sounds like he's ordering the house special. It's not. It doesn't work.
I'm sorry. Obi-Wan is an amazing. Ewan McGregor is an amazing Obi-Wan. If you even try to say anything other than that, I will absolutely destroy you. The scene with Anakin and Obi-Wan when they're leaving each other's side as friends for the last time is one that gets me every time.
The
So
only
screw
thing,
you.
the only thing good about the fan
Screw
films
you.
is the theory that Jar Jar Binks might actually be a
Darth
dark.
Jar Jar. Do you not watch them like that all the time?
That's
what
the
is
only.
wrong with you,
When
Harry?
I saw
If I were to ever accidentally watch those non-Star Wars movies, I would have to watch it like that. I couldn't
Yes.
get that out of my
to
head.
watch it. It's the only way to watch it. Come on, hello.
And if J.J. Abrams has any goodness in him, he will incorporate that twist into the new
Darth Jar
movies.
Jar. Hello.
That's
He
got to
must.
be in the
Did you not
director's
see
cut
Darth
somehow.
Jar Jar in The Force Awakens? Did you not see him there? I saw him there. Did you not see him?
I have my theories.
Who do you think?
Yes, I think
Snoke
that.
is.
I do think that.
He's Darth Jar Jar. Hello.
Oh.
Yes,
Thank you.
I do
Doesn't
think
that make
that.
sense now?
But I didn't want to say anything that might spoil anything to anyone, and I didn't even want to mention any names.
Yeah, well. Okay, Rift. We're going to move on. Rift,
Well, you
5 years of
already
Rift.
saw it, so who cares?
Yeah, exactly. I've seen the movie, so I don't care about spoilers. 5 years of Rift. There's a new producer's letter coming out from Arcanix, who is the producer of Rift.
You don't
talking about a few
apologize.
things, I'm going to...
If he picks a stupid name, it's the onus is on him to make people pronounce it correctly.
Thank you. Couple things that are coming with the game in this spring update. Not really, they didn't call it that, but I just thought it'd be funny. There is a 5-year celebration of the Ascended coming up with a new quest in the Carnival of the Ascended. I think Rift does the events really well. I've always enjoyed those. New souls this year for every calling. Woohoo! I love New Souls. New Soul times are awesome. They are taking the route of Too Little Too Late, adding multi-core support for Rift in its 5th year. And they are they have a lot of organization set. They are very precise in everything that they do, including saying there's no timeline on any of this. So
the developers.
we'll see it sometime.
So some
Well,
stuff
but at
is.
least they said it.
Them
At least they said it, not like, oh, it'll be here. It'll be here soon, really, really soon. They just said it's gonna come out when it's done.
They look at Star Citizen and think they got away with it. Why can't
Oh my
we?
God.
You know,
You are relentless and shameless and cruel.
I want to be
your
proven
analysis
wrong.
of that game.
I want to be proven wrong so much. I
No,
really
you don't.
Yes, believe
No,
me.
you don't.
I want that game to be the best, awesomest thing ever created. And as long as it does that, I'll be more than happy to eat any amount of crow you can serve me. But
And-
until then, I will not stop ragging on that game until it is exactly what I want it to be.
There will be a hefty amount of shouting for it on my side when that happens.
Harry believes in tough love when it comes to game fandom.
Yes,
I
especially.
don't think it's like tough hate that Harry's going for there.
How will they learn otherwise?
He is pulling like a Marine sergeant here, a drill sergeant. You are worthless. You gotta break it apart before you build it back up, right, Harry?
I was screaming at the game, shut up and give me 20 frames per second, please.
Okay, I'm going to go through our quick mentions here, fly through these because we are running a little bit long tonight. First of all, if you want to buy a Secret World Lifetime sub, you got to do it now. They're ending those next week, so go, everybody. No more Secret World Lifetime subs. I know, Harry, you're going to go out and buy one this weekend, right? Because you are a fan of Secret Worlds and its placements of zombies around barrels, right?
Is it still running, that game?
Yep. And
It's undead.
You know what? It's so surprising to see all the stuff that's going on. And surprising not in a what are you doing? You're doing the wrong thing sort of way, but surprising in a unexpected way when they are actively looking for a purchaser for their company, and yet they're still pushing all of this game announcements, changes to Secret World, the new little mini game that they did, all this stuff. They're really trying to make themselves attractive rather than taking the route that a lot of games do, a lot of companies do of, we're just going to get by until somebody buys us. So really cool about that. Neverwinter is announcing a new expansion, the Maze Engine. I'm looking forward to, in 6 or 7 months, playing this on Xbox, because that's how long it takes. We'll have a link to the announcement and to the Reddit AMA. No new races or classes with this announcement for anybody who's curious about that. Saddest bit of news for me for this week, Jeff Grubb is leaving ArenaNet.
Why?
He's going to Amazon Game Studios.
Why?
I know. It makes me very, very sad.
Deliberately doesn't say, actually.
Well, he doesn't say in his post, but he's going to Amazon Game Studios. He was one of the second interview I think I ever did for Guild Wars 2. I still remember that very, very fondly. He's a great person to chat with.
Mm-hmm.
And last but not least, some quick changes to, well, not quick changes, it's actually quite big changes to Hearthstone. They're going to change the sort of 2 play modes that you can get. Standard is now going to be having matches. When you play standard mode, you're only going to be able to build decks that use the current and previous calendar year's cards. So you're no longer going to be able to use everything. You're only going to be using the last little bit of cards. And then wild is what you can currently do, which is build any deck that you want. So what they're hoping to do is create a more stable metagame with this and have something that is a little bit more predictable. Which I think, from what I've seen out there, it looks like Hearthstone players, especially the competitive ones, are a little bit happier about this. So there you go. That is all of our quick mentions. Contact info. Bill, would you kindly guide our listeners and viewers through the contact info for the show?
Do I have to do it kindly, or could I do it with a bit of a mean streak?
Yes, mean streak.
You can do a little mean streak, but not like Harry Hall Star Citizen mean, because no one deserves that.
Okay, I'm going to see if I can find a middle ground here.
Okay.
Get to that website, MMOreporter.com. Send us an email, mmo.reporter@gmail.com. Visit our Facebook, facebook.com/MMOreporter. Tweet at us at MMO_reporter for Chris, at Harry Hall for Harry Hall, at MMO Bill for me. Voicemail, 616-666-6778. Like the devil 3 times in there. Voicemails now, 20. YouTube.com, MMO Reporter Network. Videos, Patreon.com. Help us out, damn it, right now. I mean, please. We love it. Or head over to MMOReporter.com/support. We'd love your help there, too. Thank you very much.
That was actually pitch perfect.
Yeah, very, very well done. Very well
Yeah.
done. Although, it's really cute, Bill, trying to hear you be mad. Aw, that's like adorable. Okay. Bill, as always, a pleasure recording with you on these late Thursday nights.
Oh, well, gosh.
And Harry, as always, very happy that you are getting up ever so early in the morning to be able to chat with us, especially when you are the star of stage and screen who does not rise out of bed before noon usually, right?
Actually, as a one of the big advantages of a freelancer is that I can get up a little bit later than your average working Joe, except on Fridays.
Yeah, thanks, Harry.
Yeah,
you're
you're
a
welcome.
pal.
Yeah, shut up.
And thanks to all of our chat room people. We had a few of you in there today. And thank you to everyone who downloads the podcasts, listens to it on the site, or watches it on YouTube. We sure appreciate you taking part in this episode with us. We hope that you come back next week. But of course, most importantly, we hope to see you in game.
Don't forget about your ults you need to cherish. Each and every little character you've got, no matter what level they're at. Don't forget about your ults you need to cherish.
Thanks for watching the video, everybody. Don't forget to check out all the other podcasts at MMOReporter.com or by clicking on any of the links here. And please check out our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/MMOReporter. Thanks, everyone, and see you in game.
No. I will. Okay, I will definitely